Welcome to Your Call. I'm your host, Rob Melnichuk, inviting you to stay with me for the next 90 minutes of talk media as we discuss issues contending for the faith. In his latest book, God Forsaken, Bad Things Happen. Is there a God who cares? Yes. Here's proof. Dinesh D'Souza offers a solution to the problem of suffering and evil. A solution from a Christian perspective that answers a bigger question than the existence of God. It's about whether God is really good. And if so, how can a good God allow so much suffering in this world? A philosophical and theological conundrum. How can a good God allow so much suffering in this world? I had a chance to read the book, God Forsaken, as well as personally ask Dinesh some questions to the arguments he proposes against the anti-theists today. Questions such as, why is evil and suffering necessary for us to exist? Can an omnipotent God create a world of free will and no evil? And why is the natural world the way it is with earthquakes, tsunamis, and disease, etc.? Is it the anger of the gods? And much, much more. In his latest book, God Forsaken, Dinesh looks at remarkable advances in physics, astronomy, neuroscience, and biology to offer a fresh answer to this question of how can a good God allow so much suffering? But I also asked, can modern science really prove that God exists?
Modern science, I don't think, can prove that God exists. Scientific proof doesn't really work that way. Scientific proof is about material things. It's about our material world. That's why we call it physics. It refers to physical things. And what science does is it tries to establish the interrelationships between physical things, physical objects, if you will. Now, the description of those relationships is not physical. The law of gravity is not physical. Objects fall to the ground, but the law itself is not a physical thing. Relativity, E equals mc squared, is not a physical thing. Now, all that being said, what science can do is describe what our world is like, what our universe is like, what the laws are like. And we can draw on modern science to ask a deeper question, which is, does this lawful world, with all the intricacy and complexity and intelligence built into it, does that point to a creator that embodies that wisdom, power, and intelligence? So I would say it's not a proof, but it's the best possible explanation, the best available explanation. Does it make more sense to look at this universe with all its intelligence, all its laws, laws that take scientists, hundreds of years to excavate them out of nature, and say, well, gee, this universe just kind of made itself? Or, as the physicist Larry Krauss suggests in a recent book, there was a quantum fluctuation, something came out of nothing, and that's kind of how we all got here. Is that more plausible, more satisfying, more believable? Or is it more believable to say that this fine-tuned universe requires a fine-tuner?